Hi Munir, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well.
Okay, we will hear you well too. You are uh, on the speaker, and please go ahead. Munir Mengal is based in France, Paris. He is the president of Balochistan Foundation. He held a similar conference last year in Bangkok successfully, and he's a great Baloch activist and a political figure, and he himself suffered. He was trying to establish a Balochi language TV channel, and he was arrested in Pakistan by ISI and was kept incommunicado for 16 months. After being freed on the 23rd of April 2008, he came to France with the help of Reporters Sans Frontiers, and he is based now there and working with the other Baloch people for the Baloch cause. Welcome Munir Jan, you are on the air, go ahead.
Hello, thank you Dr. Wahed, and I am also thankful to all friends who have given their precious time and have joined this conference about the Balochistan. So I am going to speak about Balochistan, the geostrategic importance for peace and security in South Asia. So first of all, I will try to give a little bit about the location of the Balochistan. Balochistan is located in Southwest Asia and Central Asia. On the southern side, it borders with Iran, and on the northern side with Afghanistan, and on the eastern side with the provinces of Punjab and Sindh. The Balochistan covers 48% of land area of Pakistan, yet has a population approximately equal to Sweden, excluding Afghan refugees. Balochistan's strategic significance and natural endowment makes it a critical part of the region. Strategically, Balochistan bridges Central, South, Southern East and East Asia on one end, and Central Asia, the Persian Gulf and the Middle East on the other. Regional states, especially China, Eurasia and India, cannot reach the energy and trade markets of the Caspian Sea region without transit through Balochistan. Balochistan is full of natural, mineral and energy resources. Pakistan gets its 40% natural gas according to official figures. Before 1992, gas production was 72%. The three largest copper gold deposits. Gateway to hot water, Strait of Hormuz. It provides strategic depth to Pakistan and Iran. Pakistan tested its nuclear bomb on 28 May 1998 in Balochistan, and Pakistan has its 3 nuclear and chemical weapon developing sites and 6 missile testing sites in Balochistan. Balochistan share 1173 kilometer long border with Iranian controlled Balochistan. Balochistan share 837 kilometer long border with Afghanistan. Regional energy grid, most of the future proposed gas pipelines like Iran, Pakistan, India, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Qatar and Pakistan, India. Gas pipelines have to pass through Balochistan. There are different lines of divisions which are dividing the Balochistan into different pieces. The British lines of divisions of Balochistan. Goldsmith line. On the western side line of division was created by the British and Persian rulers by force in 1871. Then eventually they incorporated the western part of Balochistan into Persia in 1928 under its divide and rule policy. Total area of western Balochistan is approximately 187,000 square kilometers, controlled by Iran. The Iranian rulers further divided the western Balochistan by giving a grand portion of Baloch land to Sistan. The second line is Durand Line. In 1893, Durand Line Agreement between the government of colonial British India and Afghan Amir Abdul Rahman Khan for fixing the limit of their respective spheres of influence. It is named after Henry Mortimer Durand, the Foreign Secretary of British India at the time. Balochistan lost almost more than 70,000 square kilometers of land on the northern side to Afghanistan. Then the provincial lines of divisions. On the northeastern and eastern sides, Balochistan has been very unlucky as well. It has also lost almost more than 70,000 square kilometers of land to the Punjab and Sindh provinces. Now, strategic exploitation of Balochistan. Pakistan has three nuclear and chemical weapon developing sites in Balochistan, namely Chari, Haran, and Pasni. There are 3 naval bases in Balochistan and 4th one with Chinese assistance is under construction at Gwadar, opposite to the state of Hormuz. Pakistan has 6 missile testing ranges in Balochistan. The growth rate of state-sponsored radical madrasas, even during the war on terror era, is more than 30% in Balochistan. The state is heavily funding the religious political parties in Balochistan. The Quetta Shura Council, the strategic capital of Taliban militants, which recently got the world attention, is operating with full capacity and capability with the collaboration of Pakistan intelligence organizations as a state strategic policy. Pakistan has 7 Air Force bases in strategic parts of Balochistan. Army has 6 major cantonments and 66 paramilitary facilities in Balochistan. In addition, 4 cantonments are under construction, one at Kalar and Huzdar district borders, and and the rest in Sui district, Kolu, and at Gwadar. Conditions of people in Balochistan. 85% population of Balochistan lacks safe drinking water. 80% population is without electricity. 63% lives below the poverty line. Balochistan has highest infant mortality rate, which is 52 per 1,000, which is even more than Congo, and lowest literacy rate in the region, 18%. 50% children in Balochistan are compelled to get education in religious schools, madrasas. 70% children are deprived of schools and modern education. Balochistan has mineral reservoirs, of which include 29 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, 6 billion barrels of oil, and about 1,000 kilometer coastline. Balochistan overdrafted 22 billion rupees from the State Bank of Pakistan, and most of the money has been spent and used by pro-Taliban ministers. Baloch children are deprived from school, colleges, hospitals, but military has plans to establish 4 more cantonments in Balochistan with cost of rupees 13 billion. I will come to energy pipelines. It's a controversial pipeline proposal is the 7.4 billion US dollar Iran-Pak India line, which would transport Iranian natural gases south to the Asian subcontinent with a proposal of 1,724 miles. And the second pipeline is the TAPI, which is called TAPE. It starts from Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. The natural gas pipeline is slated to run through the most dangerous region of Afghanistan, where Canadian troops are battling insurgents, and through Pakistan's volatile Balochistan region. Turkmenistan, which is believed to hold world's 4th largest gas reservoirs, is eager to find new markets for its energy exports. This proposed TAPE gas pipeline project would deliver up to 33 billion cubic meters of gas annually. The route for the 1,700 kilometer long TAPE pipeline from gas-rich Turkmenistan would cross Afghanistan's Kandahar province, where Taliban forces are in control, as well as from Balochistan, where the law and order situation is volatile. China and Pakistan. Balochistan is a rich prize that should have foreign investors battering at the gates, but for a half century it has been the exclusive playground of the Pakistani government and its state-owned Chinese partners. According to the Pakistani government, Chinese companies have poured at least 15 billion into Baloch projects. an oil refinery, copper and zinc mines, and a deep water port at Gwadar in the Gulf of Oman. They wanted Gwadar into Baloch oil refinery. Quoted, they wanted Gwadar to be another Dubai, says Khurram Abbas, the port's managing director. Unquoted, to capture the transit trade with countries that are landlocked like Afghanistan and to encourage transshipment trade from the Persian Gulf to East Africa. China is taking matters into its own hands, starting to build a highway from Gwadar to the capital of Balochistan, Quetta, on the Afghan border, where it will connect to Pakistan's national highway network. And from there to the Karakoram highway that leads into China. China's Harbor Engineering Corps is also working on a new airport at Gwadar due to open in 2013. Eurasia Great Game over energy. Gwadar, the western port city of Balochistan, or the western port, that is worth mentioning, has already got the attention of economic planners. Gwadar has an immense strategic lure. It lies near the Straits of Hormuz, gateway to Gulf through which 40% of the world oil passes. The port also has a great commercial attraction. It lies 1250 miles from Zhenjiang, a landlocked western province and a latecomer to Chinese economic boom. Gwadar, the news that Gwadar port is all set to be taken away from the Port of Singapore Authority (PSA) and is likely to be given to the Chinese may have repercussions that go much beyond its white sand shores. Official sources confirmed that quote, an understanding to the effect had already developed at the highest levels, but it will take a while before the legal and administrative constraints are removed. Unquote, the biggest constraint remains the agreement with the PSA, which was given the right to run the port for 40 years. However, official sources are confident that the PSA had given them sufficient grounds to revoke the agreement, apart from its failure to bring a single commercial ship to the Gwadar docks. The PSA has not invested even a fraction of the 5 to 5 million US dollar it had committed to spend in 5 years. Analysts see it as a paradigm shift in what they call it as the new Eurasia Great Game over energy. The port of call. China has been an invaluable external source of military equipment and technologies to Pakistan, especially during the period when the United States and other countries imposed sanctions on this country. Over the years, a large number of collaborative projects in the field of defense have been completed that include manufacture of tanks, guns, missiles, patrol boats, communication equipments, trainer and fighter aircraft, and construction of nuclear power plants. China has always assisted Pakistan in strengthening its defense capability. Beijing's involvement in the Gwadar seaport is primarily motivated by commercial considerations, but it also perhaps sees the advantages occurring to Pakistan and its own navy for having a friendly port of call close to the Gulf region. Gwadar naval bases Sino-Pak strategy. In parallel with army establishments, Pakistan for the first time began to build naval defenses in Balochistan to safeguard its nearly 1,000-kilometer coastline. The Pakistan Navy, which is reluctant to vacate 582 hectares of land and which was illegally snatched from the Baloch residents by naval forces. A highly armed naval port is mandatory for the protection of the Gwadar port, which is presumed to be the world's largest deep sea port. In the near future, naval authorities replied to Babar Gauri, the then Ports and Shipping Minister. One such defense installation is the Jinnah Naval Base at Ormara, which is the Pakistan Navy's second largest base after its flagship naval port in Karachi. The Jinnah Naval Base has displayed Balochistan's paramount naval importance that has long been envied by regional powers, including the former Soviet Union and India. Yet the Jinnah Base is ancillary to the development of Pakistan's ultimate naval defenses in Balochistan's coastline town of Gawadar, which sits along the Arabian Sea coast. The government of Pakistan has designated the Gawadar region and the port area as a sensitive defense zone. Other than the economical corridor, China also as well has military designs for Gawadar. In an interview over the state radio on December 28, 2009, Rear Admiral Yen Zhu, an expert of the Chinese Navy, said, quote, I believe that a relatively stable, relatively solid base for resupply and repair would be appropriate. Such a base would provide a steady source of fresh food along with facilities for communications, ship, repair and recreation. Any definite decision to establish such a base would have to be taken by the Communist Party, supplying and maintaining the Chinese fleet of Somalia, which was challenging. Without such a base, other nations were unlikely to object. Unquote. He did not say where such a base could be located. If the party ultimately accepted his suggestion, China already has only one option before it: Gawadar on the Balochistan coast. Now, I will take just 1 minute about the Balochistan and America. The USA government policies and Baloch people has a very complex relation. Baloch are and have been the unseen victims of Taliban and of the war against terrorism. Nearly more than 35% of NATO supplies are being supplied from the Balochistan and Afghanistan border. America Army is using two air bases, Shamsi Air Base and Jacobabad Air Base, against war on terrorism. Initially, America also utilized the Gawadar coast, but unfortunately, the Balochs on the other side receiving heavy bombardments on their villages by the Pakistani Air Force and Army using the American helicopters, F-16 jets and other heavy artillery. Pakistan is also using the American financial aid for building madrasas and financing the religious political parties to convert the secular Baloch nation to fundamental Muslims to support Pakistan and its ideology of La ilaha illallah. If the choice confronts Pakistan in terms of strategic support for USA versus China, Pakistan will opt for China, sorry, not for America. Thank you.
Thank you, Munir Jan. Thank you very much for your speech, and thank you for joining us with the Skyfe.